Emma Jane Mack, the two ladies together, Ladies' Night with Everest Oyster, is third.
The Horse of the Year Show 1989. See you at Olympia, and goodbye from Wembley.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cavalcade of 1989 is now assembled. Mr. John Stevens will now read the tribute to the horse.
Where in this wide world can man find nobility without pride, friendship without envy, or beauty without vanity? Here, where grace is laced with muscle and strength by gentleness confined, he serves without civility. He has fought without enmity. There is nothing so powerful, nothing less violent. There is nothing so quick, nothing more patient. England's past has been born on his back. All our history is his industry. We are his heirs, he our inheritance. The horse.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, on this great night, we now ask you to stand and sing with all of us, Old Lang Syne.
Kilroy's back, so join me next week for the talk show where you do the talking. If it's in the news or on your mind, then we'll be tackling it. Topics that will keep you watching and me listening.
And that's how easy it is to get on television on the programme About Television. Just pick up the phone and dial 061 814 0424 to get through to Open Air. This Irish bloke we see on TV in the mornings, yes. Why can't we see him in anything else? Yeah.
I'm sorry, but what have Jason Donovan, Norman Tebbit, Sue Pollard, Bob Hoskins, Barry Manilow, Linda Lusardi, Edwina Curry and Sooty got in common?
It's easy. They've all been on Daytime Live.
Oh, yes!
Daytime on 1, keeping you company in the season ahead, beginning Monday week.
Corfu's our destination in 25 minutes, when we'll be catching up with the adventures of the Durrells in My Family and Other Animals. Now on 1, a group of dinner ladies from Yorkshire get the treatment in The Clothes Show.
The village of Haworth in Yorkshire is famous for three women, Emily, Charlotte and Anne, the Bronte sisters. But we've come here today to meet another group of lady writers who felt compelled to put pen to paper to write to the clothes show to ask us for help. Sharon Feather and a team of dinner ladies here at the Hartington Middle School are busy serving lunch for the 400 pupils here before they sit down in a classroom and have a lesson in makeup from top makeup artist Barbara Daly. But first, there's the washing up to be done. So join us after lunch when Barbara Daly will be cooking up something for the dinner ladies.
I'm the hippiest number in town, and I tell you why, I tell you why.
If you're like me and thought the humble Parker originated and died with the mods, well, you're wrong. The posher Parker is here and how. International designers such as Calvin Klein, Jean Paul Gaultier and Mizrahi have all launched the new parka. But did you know the parka originated with the Eskimos, was adopted by the Arctic explorers, became regulation army gear, then became a sort of CND uniform? After the 60s, the parka was revived briefly in the early 80s. Now it's back, and we tested the posher parka on members of the Vespa Club of Britain.
I got me parka, I got me parka, I got me parka.
The parka is something that's really stuck with me from the very early days of being a mod about 9 years ago. It's warm, it's comfortable. At that time it symbolised the scooter, the parka, symbolised the mod thing.
I got me parka, I'm feeling all right 'cause I'm a mod tonight.
This is my original one, the only one I've had. I've had it for about 8 years, 8 or 9 years.
I got me parka.
If you couldn't find accommodation or going to a party and you were in no state to ride back, you'd find somewhere to sleep. Sometimes B&B wasn't available, so the parka had to do. And if you were a couple, you could in fact zip them together. They're very practical garments.
It's considerably brighter than the average green one that you'd normally see.
It's much lighter material, it's slightly silkier. I don't think it would keep out the rain too well.
It's nice, just as good, but I don't fancy riding around like this.
Why not?
I think my vision would be seriously impaired, and I don't think the local constabulary would take too kindly to it.
So now the dinner things have been cleared away, Sharon Feather and her girls can give their full attention to Barbara Daly.
You know, if you do have trouble with rosy cheeks, this little bit of foundation will make all the difference. And then you put the foundation around the edges of your face last. That way it can't get stuck in any hair, and especially if you've got short hair, you really can see if you get, you know, people call a tide mark. You know, if it's the wrong colour, it gets stuck in there. So the sponge will help you do that. You want makeup, really, to be the same colour as the neck. Hold it in your hand. And then look down into it, but keep your chin up. Keep your chin up and look down into the mirror. Can you see? Then you can see all of the eyelashes, and then you can just literally put the mascara on looking down into a mirror. And then when you want to do the bottom ones, keep your chin where it is and put the mirror up so you look up. Can you see how now you can see all the bottom lashes quite easily? Would you wear foundation now?
I'm going to have a go at it.
You are?
I'm not going to say it's been successful, but yes, I will.
No, it will, because you've had the lesson now.
Yes.
Start from the bottom. Start real close to the lashes. Very good. Yep. And if you haven't got quite enough on, you can just do this. Look, you can just flip the brush. So you've got about that much on. Yeah? Yeah. Looks hard like that, but of course once you blend it with the brush.
Starting.
Yep. Just go straight over all the colour. But blend upwards rather than down. If you blend down, you're going to end up with the eyeshadow down here. There you go. Colours you would never have thought of using, not under any circumstances.
I wouldn't have thought of using them now. I will now.
Good. If you smile at me for a minute. Right, okay. I don't mean this as a fat bit of face, but I mean, you know, when you do this, people always get what I would call a fat bit. Yeah. That's actually where you put blusher. Don't worry about doing all that business of trying to shape your face and shade it and this, that and the other, because in fact, I'm sure you've seen people in the street who've tried to do that and all they've got is...
Yeah, behind the cross, really.
Go faster stripes.
Yeah.
Would you have a go with the eye makeup?
Yeah, I might.
I think you should.
Just for special.
Well, why not? Even just for special occasions. Yeah, that's good. Have you ever done anything to your brows in terms of putting makeup on them?
No.
What, did you pluck them away?
Yes.
Make them thin. Okay. You just put some powder on the little brush like that. It's quite hard. Take the surplus on the back of the hand and then you look into the mirror and you'll see it's very soft, so it doesn't look hard like a pencil line. And it looks at first as if nothing's happening. Can you see in the mirror how the eyebrow's coming up? And then you can lengthen it.
That's very nice, yeah. Certainly different to what I'm used to.
Keep your lips together, you'll find it's easier to draw the line if you hold them just normal. Right, okay. I'll show you what to do. Watch in the mirror and you can see. Instead of trying to draw with the point like that, use the edge of the brush to make the line. Can you see how the actual edge does the trick? And then you can reverse it and draw it that way. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's adventurous enough?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if reindeer using those colours.
Two things the 80s will be remembered for are power dressing for women and the filofax, both now on the way out. Gone is the formality of the strict grey suit with shoulder pads. In is a whole new alternative approach which mixes bottoms with tops, and it's the bottoms that make the difference because they can be anything from skirts to hot pants.
Can you walk into a shop and find an outfit that fits you completely just by knowing what size you are? No? Well, neither can I. And there's lots of people out there who are totally confused by sizings. Did you know that the last official survey on women's wear sizing took place in 1951? And there's no real information about menswear sizings at all. Manufacturers seem to develop their own sizes within their own companies. So a size in one shop may fit you completely, but if you go into another, it's totally wrong.
Well, you can be like 10, 12 or 14 from whatever shop you're going to.
Different shops, different sizes, isn't it? Yeah, especially when they say like medium, which is like 38. It could, one shop like a medium could be a 38, and you go into another shop and it would be a 40.
I'm a 12 on my top and a 14 on my bum.
And is there a problem getting the right size shop to shop?
Very much so.
John Lyons, project manager at the British Standards Institution, is quoted as saying, "There is a general concern being expressed among consumers that the sizes of garments being sold are not satisfactory. No public data provides sufficient accurate current size and shape information for British adults as a basis of the design of well-fitting garments." We decided to do our own consumer test, so we asked 4 viewers to come in and try on a range of clothes in their own sizes from a series of different retailers.
The top, it fits okay, but I always have trouble with the sleeves when I buy tops, so I generally go for men's jumpers because the sleeves are just a bit longer.
What size are you?
32. 32 waist, 34 inside leg.
And what size is that?
This is the Benetton size, so it's obviously the international size, but it's the equivalent of 32.
It's a size 14, and let's look at the skirt compared with the others. It's much too big on the waist, and because of that, the length is silly. You need to turn it up at the waist to make it even presentable. I know I asked you guys for shoulder pads, but come on, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's like wartime when you couldn't afford to buy anything else. Where did it come from? Well, this is a size 14, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, and it's Exhibit A. It is much too big on the top. One, I do prefer things tighter, but either way around, it does nothing for me, and it could be doing in here. And the skirt, a size 14, you've seen the other skirts. I reckon in this size I could get into a 12, maybe even a 10.
Well, our sizing, I think, is generally known to be generous, and well, that's how it is. I mean, it's generous for a reason, because that's what our customers like.
How tight are they?
Very tight.
What waist are they meant to be?
32.
32. And what waist do you feel?
These are supposed to be 32, but they're more like 21.
The top is a 14, and I mean, look, there's plenty of room for somebody else as well.
So what do you think should be done about sizes then?
More standardisation, I suppose.
Do you think we should have a uniform size?
I think it would certainly help. If you had a uniform size and then it didn't fit, then the problem would obviously be with the buyer rather than with the garment.
We join the EC, there should be an EC directive on it.
Well, I don't think it would really solve the problem. As I say, even if we could get to a position where in the UK we had standard sizes, what do we do then when we go into Europe, when we go to the States, when we go to Japan, where they have a totally different sizing system again, then, based on their particular traditions, using metric measurements as opposed to imperial measurements here? We might solve the problem here, which I doubt, but it wouldn't solve the problem worldwide. This has been going ever since time, and I really think it's likely to keep going for the next time as well.
What have I got in common with Prince Philip, actress Cher and George Shultz, former US Secretary of State? Yes, you've got it. We've all got a tattoo. Prince Philip's got one on his arm and George Shultz has got one on his bottom, and so have I. A tattoo is the most exciting form of body adornment, and contrary to popular belief, tattoo wearers come from all walks of life. Tattooing goes back as far as man and woman. It was certainly discovered on Egyptian mummies, and it was said that when the body of Harold was found after the Battle of Hastings, the word Edith was emblazoned across his chest. Early tattooing was done with a sharp stick and soot. This is now known as scarification. These days it's done with a vibrating needle and non-toxic ink. This is a truly creative art form that suffers from ignorant interpretations. It can be threatening. Skinheads have employed it to declare their racist ideologies. There is much preoccupation with death and weapons, but there are also exquisite renderings of flowers, patterns, animals and personal designs. The colour, skill and craftsmanship can be truly breathtaking.
It took, on average, a couple of hours a week all last summer, over a period of about 6 months.
Steve, you're more or less covered in tattoos. Why? Have you got so many?
I don't know, I had one and it just carried on from there.
That's what a lot of people seem to be saying. Is it addictive?
Yeah, I think so.
You have a bit on, then a bit more, and then a bit more, and then you think, oh, sorry, I'll get older.
If you had the choice, if someone came along and granted you a wish now, would you keep all your tattoos or would you step out of them?
I'd have my face took off of my hand. Not actually to the face and hand, but I would do that.
Tattooing now has got to a level where hygiene is very, very important. People keep coming in and saying, oh, what about AIDS and all that? It's rubbish, you know, we're running businesses now. We're not going to, like, cut corners and lose custom. We're upgrading everything to gain custom. And as you can see from being here today, tattooing is more popular than it's ever been. So, you know, it's just a case of really look around, don't rush into it, and select the place you're going to have the tattoo and the design. They say you get one hide, so it pays to decide.
Tattooing has long been associated with sailors and convicts, but all that is changing. Many women are breaking into the male-dominated world of tattooing, both as artists and customers. So did you know what you wanted? No. You just trusted the tattooist?
You want something female, right? And something different.
Does it just come into your head there and then?
Yeah.
Sorry, tell us how long that tattoo took. In all, 15 hours.
And how much would something like that cost?
Came to about £300.
I'd never known about tattoos before, and then my son had them when I left school, and I saw the work done, and I just fancied having it done, that's all, and it just went on from there. And why did you get a tattoo done?
Well, I have a big scar underneath. You see here.
That's a very creative way of disguising it. What's the reaction of people when they see your tattoo in the street?
Most people, if you told them before they see it, oh, what's that? Well, and I show it to them. Oh, it's lovely, it's nice. And then I give the reason. They complete the steps.
Now, you're actually covered in them, aren't you? Because you've got them all over your chest and all over your back, but they go all over the body. What happens when you're on the beach?
I don't go on the beach.
So what's the pain actually like? Because there's probably a lot of people out there who would like the idea of a tattoo, but I think the pain's going to be awful. What does it feel like?
It's not a drastic pain, though, is it? I mean, most people sit and chat through it. Once you're over the first 5 minutes, you know, you're relaxed into it.
Pain? Well, you put up with it. Survive natural childbirth, you know, the pain's nothing. No, it's not a bad pain. It's just after a while you think, oh, I wish it stopped. I've had enough. No worse than sort of toothache.
It does hurt, but bleaching your hair hurts more. Yeah. Yvonne, you've had a lot of intricate work done since we saw you last. Is it finished now?
Yeah.
How does it feel? So, but it's lovely. You've still got a lot of space left that hasn't been filled up with tattoos. What's the future for you?
No more at the moment. I might change my mind.
If after watching this you've been encouraged to visit the needle parlour, remember this: the tattoo is permanent, it's there for life. You may even like the tattoo itself, but your ideas about the design may change a few years from now. If you're under 18, the rules are very strict, so you'll just have to make do with transfers.
The
kimono has been a symbol of Japanese dress since the 9th century, but in fact its origins come from the colours, patterns and style of ancient Chinese court dress. The sumptuous tie-dyeing and hand-stitching on these kimonos is called tsujigahana. A piece of fabric is stitched and then dyed over and over again, and detail is outlined with gold, ink and embroidery to achieve a variety of colours and textures. Tsujigahana existed in Japan until the end of the 16th century, and the man who has brought his art into the 20th century is Professor Ichigo Kabuto.
The old Tsujigahana techniques have been lost to time, and the material that remains has this kind of patina of age that cannot be reproduced without leaving that amount of time. So I have developed my own processes that would produce something that has the effect of the Tsujigahana, or even though it uses modern techniques.
For the first time, this collection of 30 kimonos have been brought together in an exhibition called the Symphony of Light. Ichigo Kabuto is an extraordinary man. He left school at an early age to become a yuzen dyer. Discovering a piece of Tsujigahana textile at the National Museum of Tokyo, he decided to dedicate the rest of his life perfecting this technique. He called his work Ichigo Tsujigahana.
When I was a prisoner of war after the war in Siberia, I was every day saw these wonderful sunsets, these great red glowing sunsets, and they left such a strong impression on me that I thought I would start with autumn and winter first. But it's taken me 30 years to produce these, because I can only make one kimono a year, even working every day, and I hope that over the next 30 years I'll be able to complete the 4 seasons.